Well,
And then
okay.
at 9:30, if you want to do your outro, then I could stop the live stream for you guys.
Okay. I can't I can't log. I can't start the webinar. You have to start it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
What is up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. This is Maloney Kamdar. What's up, YouTube? I've had some trouble every time that I've been on the microphone. So we finally figured out, and now we're live back again on YouTube, and hopefully this will not happen again. Sorry for those of you guys that missed out on it. Sorry for the past couple of days, actually. But welcome, everybody. It's going to be a fun and exciting day. Obviously, the event of the day is Beyond Meat's CEO biting somebody's nose, and not the Fed meeting. So that will be the highlight. I was definitely surprised by that, for sure. So when I read that news, it was interesting, to say the least. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Brian. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, cool. Let's get this party started. Tony says he's clearly not getting enough meat in his normal diet. I know. It was hilarious. It's just one of those things that's just so wrong. Shouldn't have come up in the news. Just shouldn't have happened altogether. So definitely funny. Well, give me sorry, my YouTube went off. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Good morning, YouTube. I'm finally there, so I can now see your comments in YouTube. All right, let's get started. Let's get talking about what's going on in the broader markets. Last night, I set up this wonderful short right over here, and I put it up in our Slack chat with my stop just above this wick, a little bit higher. We had been super extended. The hourly looked like it needed a little bit of a pullback, and so my pullback level was here and my stop was here. So I woke up this morning only to find out that I had gotten stopped out before it went way below my target. Not fun, not fun. So I got a cool nifty short in the morning to make up for that loss earlier. So I shorted right over here, the touch of this 15-minute 10 EMA, and took 10 points over here with a larger risk, so I could make up my R back. But overnight trading, for those of you that don't trade futures, overnight trading is super fun. Futures abide by fibs really, really well. As you can see, we're using this fib level as the next pivot, and then we're kind of sort of, we might use this fib level as the next pivot as well. So if you're curious and want to learn, Real Life Trading has an amazing, amazing futures course, or just feel free to ask questions. Okay, let's get this party started. So on the hourly, this is NQ, would be very similar to the Qs. So NQ essentially erased majority of the move from yesterday. This is yesterday's candle. These fibs are based on yesterday's candle. So overnight we made a little bit of a pop, and then we kind of dipped. So we're at the 50% level, which means 50% of the people that had bought are now out of their position, which is okay, which is absolutely acceptable. Some profit taking is definitely needed in this case. But ahead of the Fed meeting today, I think there might be a little bit more turbulence here. I'm not sure if we're going to get that run up that we've been seeing every day at open lately. And if we do, we should be able to trade it. I mean, this is still kind of sort of technically a lower high and a similar high on the hourly. So I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can. I'm trying to present a good bull scenario as well as the bear scenario. If you ask me, I am the resident bear of real life trading. So if you ask me, I would always present a bear case versus a bull case, but I'm trying to be neutral right now. So we will see. Okay, I think somebody said sound was an issue, but then some people said sound is okay. All right, cool. Buenos dias, Hector. How's it going? All right, so SPY possibly did the same exact thing. I do not like SPY or ES below 3,900. This is an essential level we got to hold, guys. We got to hold on to this. For the bulls, we got to hold on to 3,900. We should not be letting go of this level. The fact that we're below it is kind of sort of cautionary. Also, if you guys can imagine the scenario with me, if we take out these two hammers here, I'm not saying it could happen, but if it did today on the basis of some news or whatever, and we don't hold these levels, this would mean that we've taken out a pivot level and we could head back lower. So we got to hold on to these two candles and ride higher. I actually closed out of 2 of my puts yesterday on the Qs. I have 1 put left on SPY and I have 2 more puts left on Qs still, but I wanted to take some profit, so I just peeled off some profit off of those, just in case we got some great news and the market wants to go marching higher, which also would be okay. So that's where we are on the Qs and SPY. Let's look at SPY real quick, just so for those of you that don't trade futures, we can put an eye on it. Okay, so SPY is over here. So we're pre-market, we're kind of sort of, this would still be considered a retest. It's not going to be calamity sort of a drop. I mean, if we were gapping down here, I'd be excited. I would be on 4 cups of coffee and I would be super hyped up, but we're not really gapping down super crazy. This is a pullback that's expected. So overnight, we had some great news. The Chinese government, I think, didn't raise their rates. And so that was kind of cool. We did give up some of the gains from overnight, but we were super extended on the hourly. I mean, if we put our eyes on it, we were kind of extended. We were getting there. So we needed that pullback. Now, what's important for us is to hold this pivot level. So anything below 384, I would be worried about it. Because we don't want it to either turn into a head and shoulders scenario and come back lower, or B, give up this pivot level and just head on down. So anything below this, if we poke our heads down a little bit below this, I think I'd be looking for some sort of rescuing. This wouldn't work out in our bull case scenario, but this is still a healthy pullback, considered a healthy pullback. So we will watch it and play it as it goes. Qs obviously look the exact same way as NQ. This is the hourly on the Qs. And here we go. So here's a level that I would be watching on the Qs, 287, 288 level. And that's a level that I don't want the bulls to give up. If they do, I think we might have some sort of turbulence. We might have some sort of trouble going back up again. So that's the level that I'm watching closely and hoping that we don't give that up for a bull case scenario. So moving on. Macy's had some Kardashian news and it's gapping up a little bit. This just kind of sort of popped up in my gap list and I thought I'd take a look at it. I think they're partnering with one of the Kardashians. I think it's Kylie in their makeup line. I don't know how much of a help that's going to be for this scenario. It is still a head and shoulders on the daily. So, and it's a retest gap. So for those of you that are wanting to play Macy's, I could see a scenario where you could enter a short at open and take profits over here. Just an idea, just a thought. And if the market's come down, I mean, you might be able to gain more out of it, but just wanted to point that out. That was the only thing, oddly, that popped up other than Beyond Meat in the news. So everywhere else, we're going to see similar gaps. I did want to show you guys Google. This is a ticker that we trade oftentimes, and it's fun to day trade. This is definitely fun to day trade. So Google is almost about to take out this hammer, and that's not going to be good if it does. So definitely keep this in mind. It is an inside candle, which are my absolute favorite candles to trade. So Google can be a fun scenario. Let's see where it's at. I think I want to see maybe it's at like the 618 level of yesterday's candle. Let's put some fibs on it. Let's see if we can take a trade on it. I mean, you know, for us to go lower on this inside candle, take out these hammers, I mean, it's hanging by a thread, technically, if you think about it. So if we go lower, take out this inside candle and continue to ride down, that is not going to be great for Google. We could refer back to Meta's chart, and I could show you guys, I mean, we've talked about it over the last couple of days, but I could show you guys what happens when you let go of important levels. So definitely watch out for this guy for sure. Here, let's plan this out. So we're a little tiny bit below the 618, little tiny bit below the 66 level. So I think this is the zone that it should see some buying come in, the 618 and the 786. If we don't find buyers, I'd be willing to really take a short over here. But the markets would really have to cooperate with that. If they do, the bear case scenario is pretty great. Otherwise, I like it in the bull direction also. So I think it could be played either way, but I like this inside candle. I like this consolidation. The volume here is great. I hope we retain this and continue to ride higher for some of you that are in Google. And if we go lower, guys, you get to buy Google at a lower price. So you might be able to get filled on some of your pyramids. So it is at a 52-week low, guys. So definitely keep that in mind as well. That might entice some buyers. I'm not sure if that might entice some buyers or drive them away, but the 200 SMA is quite far on the weekly. So we're not really worried about that. All right, let's proceed to our regular usual suspects. Tesla. The Tesla machine is one of the strongest things out there right now. Just refuses to gap down, refuses to move at all. It just continues to march up in the bullish direction. Today, however, I'd be watching for 313 level really closely. If we can get there, that could make for a juicy short. I mean, it's been, 4 days of buying, might see some people wanting to take a tad bit of a profit. So if we can get to the 313.86 level, 313.80 is the level that I'd be watching for. If we can get there, I think let's just, let's put an alert over here. Right. If we can get there, I think it would be interesting to see what Tesla does from there. I mean, it is technically in a wave 3. So, if you consider this, it's technically in a wave 3, and I don't want to get in front of a wave 3, but it's got this trend line over here. So 313 could be an interesting area today. Definitely keep an eye on that. Let's see what we do around there. So that's the only thing I'm watching out for Tesla. In the bullish direction, I think I'm still afraid until we take out this level. Once we take out this level, I think I'd consider doing a bull put spread down here somewhere. Or if we see a little tiny bit of a pullback, then I'd consider doing a bull put spread here or here later on. So that's the plan on Tesla. Apple, friends, Apple reclaimed its territory back into the 150s, which we were kind of sort of afraid of yesterday. So I'm really glad that we had this beautiful, I mean, it's almost a shaved top, almost a shaved top candle right now. Almost a Maribozu, technically, if you think about it. Just a tiny little wick down there. So what a Maribozu means, guys, is that there's just been buying all the way till the end. No one sold until the markets closed. That tells you how many people are interested. We had talked about this level, buying it up at this level. It never quite got down to the exact low over here, but it got fairly close, just about $1 away, less than $1 away. But yeah, it is going to run into its 10 EMA if we do take out this candle. Also consider that some people may want to profit take if the markets are shaky. If there is turbulence, some people may want to profit take. So just consider that fact before going long into Apple today. But it's a beautiful candle. We had a hammer new low followed by a Maribozu. Definitely strong out there. Stronger than some of the other tickers, definitely. Let's look at AMD. As far as day trading, I'm not really. Maybe if Apple pulls back slightly, I would want to entertain it, but otherwise not really. It's nothing. It's not exciting. It's not gapping in either direction. So we'll just watch it and keep it on the side. AMD is also doing the same exact thing as everybody else. It's consolidating though. It's trying. It's definitely trying to come back up here. And I think it could make for an interesting day trade if we let go of some of these levels. Or it could make for an interesting day trade if we let go of yesterday's high. Let's put fibs on it. I think it's probably around 50% level right now on AMD, just like the broader markets. And that's okay. A lot of these things are just in that limbo, where no one knows what's going on. We just got to wait and watch and see what happens. If we get some buying come in, I'd be willing to entertain it in the bullish or bearish direction. AMD is one of the fairly easier tickers to day trade. So I will keep an eye on this level. This is our buying zone. We should see some buyers stepping in right now and at open. So this zone goes, I think we might see a little bit more of droppage or chop later on. So let's keep an eye on this guy. What is Amazon doing? Amazon also had a beautiful shaved top candle. Guys, my favorite one to ever trade is, or if you have a chart pattern, my favorite one to ever trade is if you have a shaved top candle that gaps down the next day. That is my favorite gap and go. I will trade that 100% and risk 2 R's on it. Definitely love that play a lot. And it's worked out well in the past. Amazon kind of just looks like it filled that gap. It's trying to go fill that gap from the other day's droppage. FedEx, I think, damaged it a little bit, but I think it's just trying to fill that gap. Once we fill that gap, it'll be interesting to see what Amazon does. Some of these tickers I'm trying really hard here, but some of these tickers do look like they're bull flagging slightly. So if the market can get going, I think these guys can also get going with it. So Amazon's just out there. It's not gapping down as much as some of the other tickers comparatively, so I kind of like that about it. But I think the gap fill area is something that I'll keep an eye on. Let's put an alert over here and see what it does there, and then we will watch it from there. Luis says, can you please look at MU? Yes, let's look at MU. What's that guy doing? MU is also one of my really, really good tickers to go day trade. It moves quite a bit and options are cheap. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Oh my God, how did I not look at this? This is amazing. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Yeah, you guys, we got to go short this. This will be my wild card play. There is support over here. in this zone. Let's look at the SMAs, see if we are on the weekly. We're below the 200. That's not good for MU. Yeah, I like this. I'm going to move it up on my list and I will use it for a day trade. So the plan on MU is obviously it's a gap and go. So we're going to have to, hold on just 1 second. Morning room. We're going to have to be really quick about it. We don't want to, we want to find an entry right at open. So my plan on it, guys, is I will watch for one green candle, either on the 1 minute chart or 3 minute chart, and short that green candle. So if we take out the low of that green candle, I am looking to go short on MU. But I think this could be a beautiful play. I mean, we're literally taking out all of this buying from that day. This is not going to be great for so many buyers over here, and some shorts will jump in. So yeah, I like this play a lot. Thank you, Luis. That looks great. I'm gonna scoot it up and watch it very, very closely at open. All right, let's go look at NVIDIA. This guy made me it was so frustrating yesterday to watch this. Although I think we played it fairly safe and well by not taking that trade. So somebody asked me yesterday about why I went against taking this 10 EMA play. This 10 EMA play. Let me get rid of the fibs. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. All right. So somebody asked me yesterday why I went against this 10 EMA play, and it was because the Qs and the SPY were doing spectacular things. I mean, they were dipping and getting bought up, and then dipping and getting bought up, and NVIDIA was just not doing that. So to me, it felt like it was just disastrous. I mean, even then, it created this double bottom and then failed it, trapped some bears. It looked like we could take out this trend line at some point, went a little tiny bit higher and didn't really do much. So that's why I ended up canceling it. There just wasn't enough volume. It just wasn't getting bought up enough. So that was it. Lucian says Apple versus SPY. With Apple on top, it looks like Apple is dictating the SPY, but SPY still a little bit weaker. Not a good sign for the overall market. Yes. So a lot of the market yesterday was supported on Apple's shoulders. Absolutely. So if there is a deeper profit taking happening on Apple today, I think the overall market may see some sort of a drop today. But you guys got to think Apple is supporting, it's pretty heavily weighted on SPY and the Qs. So we do have to keep that in mind. And yes, it's a little tricky to day trade today. My advice to you guys is that if you don't have to trade right at open, unless you find a really cool gap like MU or anything else that you see that's interesting enough, I would just stay out of the SPY and the Qs and see what Apple does. Just observe it, and then once it puts in something like this and fails this level, then look to short it or short the retest of it. Or if it goes higher, then look to enter that trade a little bit higher. But I think that plan is going to come into play right around 10:30-ish, or we might see a really interesting afternoon rollover. Definitely keep in mind, guys, whatever we end up doing early in the morning, we are going to see an afternoon rollover in either direction. So we either get bought up and we roll over in the afternoon, or we get sold off and we get bought up in the afternoon. A little tiny bit, but we still will get bought up in the afternoon. Because whichever direction we head in, the people are going to want their positions closed. They're not going to want to be in a day trade. Would you want to be in a day trade at 2 p.m., before 2 p.m.? No. So whichever trend is happening, some people are going to close out of their position. So just keep that in mind. We are going to see an afternoon rollover. Lawrence says he wants to look at PayPal. Let's look at PayPal, and then Luis is all about fun tickers today. Check it out. Oh my God. I have some shares of PayPal really, really high. I'm bag holding. But it's by some, I mean 5. So it's not really that bad. Yeah, it's going to, if I had to tell you which direction it's going to go, I will tell you it's going to go down and it's going to go fill that gap today. If we do it at open, watch it and see what it does right around this level. And if we let go of this level, I think it could have a deeper pullback. It will, if the market support it, it could pull back quite a bit. So what I would do is put a trend line right over here and see where that touches. And if you want to swing trade it, you can actually swing trade it down quite a bit, especially if it takes a little bit more time. So yeah, PayPal for a day trade. I'm going to add, I can't really day trade this. I only have one wild card. We got to stick to our tickers, but I will watch this and I might be able to put in a personal day trade if I see something on it. We're gapping down below this hammer. It's going to go fill this gap for sure. It's definitely going to go. It has room to come down to 90. So yeah, and you could squeeze a good trade in. Let's look at, Tony says, we don't get the results of today's Fed meeting until tomorrow. I see. So they're meeting at 2 o'clock and then they don't release anything until tomorrow. We don't get to look at their minutes or anything. I see. Okay, so apparently we don't get to see that. Thank you, Tony. Upwork is gapping down, barely hanging by a thread, definitely looking a lot more like MU. This is one of those tickers that's just been troublesome for so many people. I mean, look at this, guys. It used to be at 60. Can you imagine being an Upwork at 60 over here and being a bag holder right now? Yeah, I like this too. I mean, it's got its last leg of support right now. And with the fact that we're gapping down below it is not pretty currently. Let me just look at the SMAs real quick and make sure we're not in the way. Yeah, no, we're not. We're way below the 200. What I'm looking for is I want to make sure we're not at the 200 SMA on the weekly so we don't get that bounce, but we're not. So let's just move on from here. Upwork looks great. I like it. I like MU a little bit better because it had that green candle, but I like Upwork too. I think if we drop though, we might have some profit taking happening a little bit earlier than MU. So I think for Upwork, I like MU a little tiny bit better than Upwork, but yeah, great gap. I can't deny it. I can't not look at it. Great for short. Let's add it to the list. Let's keep an eye on it. And Hector says, I'm holding this bag. I have puts, but it still hurts. This is a bear trap. It could very well be, I mean, we could just poke our head in and then continue to ride higher and go make that new high to 1865-ish level and then maybe start a new wave. It could very well be that. There's no denying that. But I mean, there is a head and shoulders here, then there's a bigger head and shoulders here, then there's a smaller head and shoulders currently happening. We might go retest that and then come back down. To me, I feel like if we let go of this level, we shouldn't be gapping down here right now. So, sorry. Sorry, Hector. I am so sorry. All right, YouTube land. I got to sign off, but I will see you guys soon. And hopefully we will not have any more YouTube trouble where you guys are interrupted by me live streaming. I hope everybody has a wonderful trading day.